Hi, this is Asing. You are now watching Asing SL TV. Today, I would like to share the change of the view of a worksheet. First, let's discuss how to hide or unhide rows and columns. To hide this row, for example, we should first click on the header of the row, right-click, and hide. To hide multiple rows, we should first click on the first row that we want to hide and drag the mouse while holding the left click, right click, and hide. To unhide them, we should observe the cursor should change from plus sign to two-sided arrow. Right click and unhide. As we can see, we could only unhide one of the rows. To unhide all the rows, we should click on the row right before the hidden row, drag until the row that right after the hidden row. Right click and unhide. We should get back all the rows that we hide. We could hide multiple rows that are not continuous at the same time as well. To do this, click on the first row that we want to hide. Press the Ctrl key on the keyboard, hold it, and we move to the next row that we want to hide. Click, click, and click. Right click, hide. To unhide them, same procedure, select, unhide, as we can see here. Besides, we could also unhide or hide them by using the XL command. Select the row and we go to the Home tab, look for Cells, and we should look for Format, look for Hide, Unhide. And what we want to hide here is the row. As we can see here, we could also select, go to Format, Hide, Unhide, and we unhide the rows. We should repeat the same step for columns as well. To hide the columns, we can select, right-click, hide, select, right-click, unhide. Now let's say we hide the first few columns. As we can see, when we select the first column that we have here, when we right-click and look for unhide, we are not able to unhide the previous column. What we have to do here is make use of the mouse, select the first column that we can see, drag the mouse and move to the header of the row. After that, right-click the first column that we could see and look for unhide, as we can see here. Same go to unhide the first few rows that we hide. Select the first row that we can see, drag and move up. Right-click the first row that we can see, unhide, as we can see here. If you want to make use of shortcut, what we have to do here is select the entire row and we press Ctrl 9 to hide. Select the rows that containing hidden row, press Ctrl Shift 9 to unhide. And for column, we should press Ctrl 0. Select Ctrl Shift 0 to unhide. Next, let's discuss how to insert cells, rows, and columns. To insert a row right before the second row, we should first click on the header of the row, right-click, and we look for Insert. If you want to insert multiple rows, for example, 2 rows right before the fourth row, we should select 2 rows, right-click, and Insert, as we can see here. Same go to columns. If we want to insert one column, select the entire column and we insert. If we need 2 columns, select 2 columns and we insert. This could also be done by using the XL command. If we need a row on top of the second row, select the second row and we click on Insert. If we need 2 rows on top of the 5th row, select 2 rows starting from the 5th row and we click on Insert. From here, we can see that we have options to choose whether we want the formatting same as the one above, same as the one below, or we can choose to have no formatting, as we can see here. However, let's say we want to insert only a cell. For example, a cell in between observe and this. Select this, go to the Home tab, Cells, click the drop-down list of the Insert cells. We have a few options here. The first option is to shift this and the following cells to the right. Secondly, we have shift this and the following cells to the bottom. Choose the one that we prefer. If we want the first one, which means that we shift this to the right and we click on OK. As we can see, also the same, format accordingly. If you want to have exactly the same as left, choose the first one, right the second, or without any formatting, as we can see here. Now, let's say we want to change the way we insert. We want the second option and see the different. As we can see, shift everything to the bottom, starting from this cell with this, as we can see here. This could also be done by using the shortcut key. Press Ctrl with the plus key, and we should obtain the options that we previously have. If you want to insert a fresh row, simply click on the entire row and Ctrl plus to have the row. Same go to column. Click on the entire column, press Ctrl plus, and we will have fresh column as we can see here. Similar ways go to deleting cells, rows, and columns. To delete the entire row, same, we can select the row, right-click, and delete. Or to delete the columns, select, click on the Excel command, delete. Or to delete a particular cell, to observe, we can click the drop-down list, look for delete cells, and we choose the command that we want. We can opt to have shift the cell starting from this and the following to the left, or shift the cells starting from fill and the following to up. Let's try for the first one where we click on OK. As we can see, that this and the following shift to the left. If we choose the second one, what will happen? Go to delete cells, and we choose the second, you can see that shift up. The same thing also can be done by using the shortcut key, Control minus to call the command, or we can select the entire column, Control minus to delete, the entire row, select, Control minus to delete. Now let us move on to adjusting row and column size. To adjust the row height of a particular row, right-click the header, look for row height, adjust accordingly. Same goes to column width, right-click and look for column width. We could also adjust manually. All we have to do here is observe the cursor. Should change from plus to two-sided arrow. Left-click and drag to the desired size. Same goes to row, drag and adjust. Or we can make use of the Excel command. All we have to do here is click on a particular column or row, go to Format, look for row height or column width. We could also make use of double click to have auto fit. For example, if you want to auto fit the G column, double click, or we want to adjust all at once, click on this area. Once all cells are being selected, simply double click on any place. Make sure the cursor has changed to two-sided arrow before we double click, as we can see here. All are auto fit, as we can see. Next, freezing rows and columns. This is very useful, especially when we have a very big data set, because we are able to freeze the headers so that we are able to refer easily. For example, if let's say we want to freeze this row, we want to refer without moving the row. When we scroll, we can move to View, look for Window Group, and we click on the drop-down list of the freeze panes. Look for freeze top row. The top row is being freeze, which means that when we scroll down, the first row will not be moving. We could also freeze the first column. Go to freeze panes and we freeze the first column, as we can see here. However, let's say we want to freeze both the row and the column at the same time. For example, we want to freeze the third row and the column G. So what we have to do here is click on the next row and next column, which means that next column is H, next row is the fourth row. So we click on this cell, go to freeze page, make sure it's not previously freeze. So we have to unfreeze if there is. After that, we click on freeze page. So both the row and column will be freeze, as we can see here. When we scroll, they are not moving. A similar result could be obtained by splitting the worksheet into a few different parts. The split here doesn't mean that we cut the worksheet into a few different parts, but we duplicate the worksheet so we are able to have different views. This is very useful, especially when we have two or more data sets to be compared. For example, we can split the worksheet by row. So select a particular row and we click on split. Both regions are scrollable. So we can scroll this region. As we can see, it's simply duplicate. We can scroll this region. As we can see, it's simply duplicate. We could also split by column. So for example, we split here, split. So we can scroll and scroll. So easy for us to make comparison, especially the data set is very big and we need a few rows on top and compare. After that, we have to scroll and compare. Let's say we want to split by a particular cell. Same, unsplit, click on the cell and we click on split. Then we're supposed to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 regions, which all are scrollable, as we can see here. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this. See you.